In Star Wars The Expanded Universe, Palpatine had always planned on replacing the Galactic Empire with the Dark Empire even before the start of the Galactic Civil War. He had always viewed the Galactic Empire as a temporary entity to oversee the transitional phase between the Republic and the Dark Empire. But due to his apparent death at Endor, Palpatine began to organize the Dark Empire through a clone body on Biss, the capital of his newly established empire in 4 ABY. During the period between Endor and when the Dark Empire would reveal itself during the pre-Shadowhand campaign, the Emperor needed to recover his strength before resuming his conquest, and before revealing his revival and observing the crumbling state of his old empire, he would continue to run things behind the scenes. Likewise, the New Republic, although fully aware of Biss's existence, did not know of its connection to Palpatine and thus pretty much ignored it. The reborn Emperor Palpatine had a lab full of clone bodies so that he could continuously live again after being killed as long as Biss remained. He also saw the Imperial fracturing and the warlords of the Imperial Civil War as the New Republic grew as a weeding out of weaker Imperials. He also saw the post-Endor era as a purge of disloyal Imperials who wouldn't be good enough to serve his new empire. Also, he and Pestage oversaw the responsibility of creating the Trioculus affair, made up of the fake message about creating the glove of Darth Vader to being the key to determining who's the next legitimate ruler of the Empire, as a means of further weakening the Imperial forces and eventually allowing for him to regain control over the former Empire. By the time after the Thrawn campaign, Palpatine began recalling warlords to Biss. He didn't appear to care about the Thrawn campaign and viewed the Grand Admiral's death as necessary for his grand plan of the Dark Empire. Anyway, warlords such as Blitzer Harsk, Artus Kane, and Truton Teradok were all recalled from their holdings to serve the Dark Empire, which they did. But before I mention the pre-Shadowhand campaign, it's important to discuss the Dark Empire's politics and military strength. You see, unlike the previous iteration of the Galactic Empire, the Dark Empire was openly run by Force users, being Sith and Dark Jedi. The reborn Emperor created what can be considered a Force monarchy over his empire, where the most powerful Force user, being Palpatine himself, was on top, while other dark side users enforced his will. Regional areas were controlled by planetary governors, as long as portions of the Imperial military were present to enforce Palpatine's will. Furthermore, although most of the Imperial warlords had been recalled, hated one another, they feared Palpatine's wrath even more if they didn't cooperate. The Dark Empire had a pretty sizable military force with many superweapons such as the Galaxy Gun, World Devastators, and 2 Eclipse-class Super Star Destroyers, which had super lasers that could crack a planet but not destroy one. The Eclipse and Eclipse II were unrivaled in space combat. However, there was significant reliance on the Force and automated military groups that were designed to phase out human beings. But the Dark Empire also had a variant of Dark Troopers that were trained to have limited use in the Force to be far deadlier than ordinary troopers. Palpatine designed the Dark Empire to be run on autopilot in the event that he was killed before he could transfer to another clone body. The Dark Empire's pre-Shadowhand campaign saw the Battle of Matelos, where Sandor Del Vardis orbitally bombarded the planet and inflicted 5 billion casualties on the civilian population. Next, the Battle of Palani witnessed the death of Artus Kane by a New Republic trap that was sprung by his former friend, Grand Admiral Octavian Grant, who had defected to the New Republic. Next was the Second Battle of Coruscant, where Imperial fleets converged on the planet and initiated savage orbital bombardment on the planetary shields. With no hope of victory, Mon Mothma ordered an evacuation of the planet, and in the aftermath, the battle witnessed an Imperial mutiny that had been enhanced by the post-Endor Imperial Civil War. Palpatine deliberately didn't quell the mutiny sooner out of revenge, personally referring to the carnage as a culling of the weak, and may have even been encouraged through his use of the dark side of the Force just to terrorize people. Palpatine then revealed himself to the galaxy and initiated Operation Shadowhand, which unleashed his World Devastators on the galaxy. Operation Shadowhand began in 10 ABY, and Palpatine initiated a Force storm which brought Luke Skywalker to Biss after he was captured. Faced with the revived Darth Sidious, Skywalker decided to do what many had tried in the past, to destroy the dark side from within. He agreed to become the supreme commander of the Imperial fleet and lead the attack on the New Republic, and Luke had become a servant to Palpatine. Although Skywalker thought that he could defeat Palpatine with a fake turn to the dark side, he would actually be turning to the dark side during Shadowhand, and it all fell into Palpatine's plan. The Battle of Mon Calamari witnessed the Dark Empire's use of World Devastators against the New Republic. Although Luke Skywalker was able to successfully smuggle the command codes of the Devastators to Leia, the damage to Mon Calamari was considerable. However, Palpatine and Luke would duel on Biss, and it would fully turn Luke to the dark side of the Force, and Luke would officially become Palpatine's apprentice. As Luke was now truly on Palpatine's side, the Dark Empire set its sights on the planet Da Sucha 5, where Luke was aboard the Eclipse dreadnought with his master demanding the surrender of Leia. When she came aboard the ship, she was able to return Luke to the light side of the Force, and Palpatine summoned another Force storm out of pure rage to destroy the planet. However, he lost control of it and ended up destroying the ship and himself during the Battle of Pinnacle Base. Palpatine's biggest suck-up apprentice, Cedrus, launched the Cedrus campaign and was jealous of the strategic skills of Maximilian Veers and heavily demoted the general down to the rank of captain, and Veers would tragically die during the Battle of Balmorra, where the planet was granted independence from the Dark Empire. The reborn Emperor would then be betrayed by his physician, who was bribed by Imperial Royal Guard Karnor Jax to sabotage Palpatine's remaining clone bodies. Additionally, several of Palpatine's Dark Jedi apprentices betrayed him and destroyed more of his clone bodies. With the remainder of his funds, Jax was then able to erase himself completely from the Royal Guard's database and any further assignments. The sabotage caused Palpatine's final clone body to age quickly and deform, forcing him to search for a new body. The decaying Emperor found his desired body in the baby Anakin Solo and launched the Battle of Onderon, where Palpatine was shot in the back by Han Solo and tried to transfer himself into the baby, but his essence was caught in a droid and the Emperor was no more. R2-D2 then gained control over the Eclipse II with help from Lando Calrissian and piloted the Dreadnought into the Galaxy Gun, which was basically a giant Death Star gun at Biss that shot across the galaxy. Anyway, the Eclipse II destroyed the gun and Biss alongside it, which crippled the Dark Empire to an irreversible downward spiral, as the Empire was without Palpatine or superweapons. The destruction of the Dark Empire was a serious blow to the Empire and the once unified warlords that then went back to their old ways. What was left of the Dark Empire then came under the control of Karnor Jax, who had politically maneuvered his position to lead the Empire, which now became known as the Crimson Empire. Did you know about the Dark Empire before this video? Obviously there's more to the faction and Operation Shadowhand, but this video was merely a summary. But is there anything that I should have mentioned? Write in the comments, and thank you for watching.